Thank you, Russ. Welcome back to Villa Park once again. A rather muted atmosphere at the start of this game. Understandable, perhaps, considering the respective form of both teams. Aston Villa looking to avoid 3 successive defeats for the first time since February 2017, when Steve Bruce was still sifting through his squad on his arrival at the club. And Bolton Wanderers only 1 win in their last 11 games. Their very promising start to the season, 10 points in 12, now seems a long time ago. And their chairman Ken Anderson has been saying he will take whatever action is necessary to ensure that results improve. But as we've just been saying, Phil Parkinson has done a really good job in difficult circumstances, Matt, and they should be more worried about him leaving maybe than Bolton Wanderers pulling the trigger.
Yeah, I think so. I really do, and I think there'll be a lot of takers for him. So, look, he's an absolutely top manager. He's a very good manager in difficult circumstances. He motivated his squad, so I think it'll be a difficult night for Bolton. Aston Villa will be right at it, as you say. They're hurting with back-to-back defeats and be looking to put this right. But as Preston, when they're Preston in poor form, they came and showed it. It will not be an easy night for Aston Villa at all.
And it's Aston Villa who will get the game underway here in their claret shirts with blue trim, white shorts and claret and blue socks. Bolton Wanderers in their white shirts with dark blue shorts and dark blue socks. And it's Villa attacking the north stand away to our left-hand side in the first half. And they get the game underway with Albert Hadoma playing on the right-hand side this evening. Back in field towards Horahan, and Villa with a reshaped 4-3-3 formation. And it's significant, Matt Murray, it's a more similar look to how Dean Smith used to have Brentford lined up.
It is, and it's going to be interesting to see where Jack Grealish goes. It looks like he's going to be playing in that pocket, but this is more of a Dean Smith formation that he knows well, so they'll have had time to work with his team, and because the games have been coming thick and fast. First he had the international break, then games coming thick and fast, so he'll be hoping now that his players can put into practice what he's about. You asked in the build-up, or the guys asked how long will he have. He does need time. He needs time to implement his style of play.
Hutton on the far side, the right, will look to bring the ball forward. He's got support in field from Tuanzebe, who is on loan from Manchester United, and now Horahan, who does have an excellent range of passing, plays it wide to this near side, the left, and Neil Taylor. But back in field again towards Tuanzebe. Bolton Wanderers with 2 very firm banks of 4 as the long ball is played forward for Villa, looking for McGinn out on the far side, and he forces Hobbs to play the ball. It flicks off the head of Adoma on the far side, regathered by Hutton, who now plays a 1-2 with Adoma, and he tricks his way into the penalty area, and the early cross in aim for Abraham is headed away by Wheater, and McGinn, who's already scored a spectacular goal here this season, has a swing at it, but it goes out on this near side for a throw-in.
That was the polar opposite of his spectacular strike against Sheffield Wednesday that won the goal of the month competition. That was probably the worst strike he's ever hit. Not sure what he was doing there, but good play from Alan Hutton, good direct play. But like you said there, 2 firm banks of 4. Otsuma even dropping in to maybe even make it a 5. You can see that Bolton have come here to frustrate Aston Villa like we thought they would.
And now the pace of Adoma, wide on the far side again. Back in field to Horahan, who has had to be patient this season following a long time on the sidelines, but he came on at Ewood Park and scored a spectacular injury time free kick, which in reality probably kept Steve Bruce in his job that weekend back in September. Now Grealish coming in field from the left hand side, finding Kodja, who's just driven outside the penalty area by a heavy first touch. Noon comes in with a challenge, but it's quickly won back by Chester, the Villa captain. Now Taylor down the left hand side. Grealish looks to knock the ball in field, but he's quickly held up by young Joe Williams, and Villa have a throw in played in field by Taylor towards Horahan, but the pass was straight to Williams, and Noon will play it forward now for Bolton, wide on the right hand side. Donaldson is all alone, but manages to turn himself around and find Noon again, who comes in field from the right hand side on the edge of the penalty area, drives the ball in towards the near post. It's headed away by Chester, and now Kodja with the high visibility yellow boots can bring the ball clear in towards Abraham, who has similar footwear. He's fouled by Williams, and it will be a free kick with 3 minutes played.
Yeah, so that's what Donaldson's going to have to do. He's going to have to provide an outlet, run the channels, bring people into play. Noon, you used to see him do it for Cardiff, cut in from the right and spank it with his left, but he didn't let the shot go that time. And you can see that Williams is going to press Grealish as much as he can, and Zuma is trying to stop Horahan being that quarterback. He's playing, it's like a 4-4-1-1, as you said it would be, and Zuma's job is to patrol Horahan.
And now Grealish played down the centre, around the goalkeeper, and Jack Grealish finally has a goal for Aston Villa here this season. Deployed in a different role tonight, and that's what he can do when Villa give him the service. Slides on his knees, relief as much as elation in that celebration, and it's Aston Villa 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Jack Grealish with his first of the season.
Yeah, brilliant run. He's come into that pocket, fantastic run, fantastic ball through, but the way he's timed his run to perfection, he's definitely onside, and then he's got the cool calmness to go round Ben Anik, and with the ball running at pace, it's difficult sometimes to slot that home, but it's brilliant finish there. Good play from Tammy Abraham. He sees the run from Grealish, and because Abraham comes short, it disrupts that back four, but a fantastic finish from Jack Grealish, and this is what Dean Smith, Aston Villa fans want to see. 20 minutes for Straight and Bolton, you're already 1-0 down.
Well, there's a fist raised towards the Holt end, and Jack Grealish really needed that goal. Aston Villa really needed that goal from him as well.
Yeah, you want to start well, because you could see what Bolton's game plan was to slide for Straight, and already Phil Parker's will be thinking, okay, that's not what we planned. Don't panic though, stay in the game. But the whole end now is behind Aston Villa, and any sort of anxiousness and anxiety they want to create, but that is where we want to see Jack Grealish, timing those runs, and then he showed that when he's in front of goal, he's got the calmness to finish, because it was a really good finish of the goalkeeper coming at him, and he just went round him so easily.
And we saw the guile with the pass, which was completely missing from the whole Villa team throughout the whole 90 minutes last week at Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, brilliant for Abraham, because when Tammy Abraham comes short like that, then the defender naturally went tight with him, which left a slot. Grealish picked the run to protect perfection, but it's a really good ball through, and look at Abraham chasing again.
Abraham was pressurising Wheater, who was looking for Anik to come out and gather the ball, but he stayed at home, so as a result Wheater had to take matters into his own hands, boom the ball out of play, and it's a throw into Aston Villa on this near side there left. 5 minutes played, they already lead by a goal to nil, currently 17th in the table. If they win tonight, they'll head up to 13th, which may not sound much, but it's a very congested division. Codger now with a drag back and a Cruyff turn, looks to work his way beyond Williams, but it's a free kick given for shirt pulling.
Yeah, a little pull from Codger there and just release the pressure. Good play from Joe Williams down in the corner, but you can see Tammy Abraham, excellent play for the goal. Really, really good play. As you say, the touch, the turn, the guile, the weight of the pass had to be perfect. That meant that Grealish didn't have to break stride and was able to take his touch around the goalkeeper. But that pressing down in the corner, that was so impressive. He did it against Preston for his goal, and pressed again there, which gets his team up the pitch.
Now Noon with a high ball into the penalty area. It was glanced on by Donaldson, but nobody was coming in behind him, and that's something the Bolton midfield are going to have to try to do, because Donaldson will win his fair share of balls in the air, but if he's at the near post and he flicks it on, he can't finish as well.
Yeah, you need runners in behind, people getting up, joining in, otherwise be isolated, and Bolton have really, really struggled for goals. 6 of the last 8 they haven't scored in 6 of the last 8 games. 7 games this season they haven't scored, so it's going to be a big ask for them if they're going to breach this Aston Villa defence.
Yeah, they started the season with 3 wins and a draw, including a success at West Bromwich Albion on the opening weekend, but since then 1 win, 3 draws and 7 defeats, and as Matt was saying, 2 goals in 8 games. Now Hutton coming forward down the right hand side, over hits the cross into the north stand with both Codger and Adoma waiting.
Yeah, disappointing there for Alan Hutton, because it's good play from Aston Villa. They beat the Bolton press, and they had bodies in the box, and he well overhit it, and Alan Hutton has more quality than that. But it has been a very good start for Aston Villa. They started well though against Swansea and created chances and didn't kill that game off, but they'll be happy that they've taken the lead, because they will not want to suffer 3 defeats in a row, because from away from home they haven't been good under Dean Smith.
Played forward now by Chester, onto the head of Hobbs, who clears downfield. Horahan then flicks it forward, but Bolton try and win it in the midfield, and Oliver Langford, the referee, has given a free kick. A heavy challenge by Horahan on Donaldson inside the centre circle, and the big man is just dallying slightly as he gets back to his feet and comes away hobbling and feeling his left ankle.
Saw one that, but he'll be desperate to run it off because he knows the ex-Birmingham City man, 2 goals last season. He said he'll be wanting to score in front of that Holt end again. Yeah,
scored twice here for Sheffield United in a 2-2 draw, but he was aided, it must be said, by Mile Jedinak playing out of position at centre-half that night. Here is Grealish coming forward now for Villa. Wide to this near side, the left. Kodja looks to skip away from the challenge of Olkowski, and he does well to put on the afterburners and keep the ball in play. Now needs support by the byline, finds it from Taylor. Grealish demanding the ball, now full of confidence following his early goal, with the socks rolled down around his ankles once again, and his calves glistening under the lights as it's brought forward by Hutton, who was heavily challenged and then fouled by Lowe, and it will be a free kick to Villa in a decent area, fairly central, about 25 yards out.
Yeah, good play from Hutton again. He's been very, very direct. Grealish looks like he really has a bit between his teeth, wanting to get on the ball, still sometimes maybe coming into slightly too wider areas, but he's getting on the ball, he's making things tick. But this is a really good chance. The likes of Twenzebi will come up, Chester will be up, and they scored a lot of goals from set pieces last season. They wish they had Snodgrass on the pitch, but this is where I imagine Horahan will take charge and look to deliver.
Well, Horahan could shoot from here if he wants, but he plays it short to Grealish to his right, who then checks back in field. Horahan again, and now Grealish again, and Bolton have had plenty of time to set themselves. Wide to the right-hand side, and Adoma, who comes in field onto his left foot, tries to cut back a reverse ball into the area towards the near post for Kodja, but he'd stayed where he was, and with 10 minutes played, it's 1-0 to Villa.
And Chester and Twenzebi will not be happy. Big centre halves make that run up the pitch, get up there, and the ball doesn't end up being delivered, and they have to sprint all the way back. They won't be happy that the ball hasn't been delivered there.
Now Horahan works it wide to the far side, and Grealish, who almost collides with Kodja, but then comes back in field, and Horahan will take over once again. And it may be a good thing for Jack Grealish that Conor Horahan is there, because he can try and pull the strings in midfield and maybe free up Jack Grealish to do a bit more further up.
Yeah, and I think Dean Smith will have looked at that and have assessed his squad. How do I get Jack Grealish in central positions higher up the pitch in areas where he makes things happen?
Hutton now plays a long ball forward, looking for the pace of Adoma, but Hobbs reads that well and checks back in field and finds his goalkeeper Ben Anik. 11 minutes played on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL, and Aston Villa lead Bolton Wanderers by a 1-0 on what is a very chilly night here in the West Midlands. Not a huge crowd here as well, it must be said. They had over 41,000 here for Dean Smith's debut against Swansea, but I would imagine nearer 30,000 here this evening, with only a couple of hundred Bolton Wanderers fans directly opposite us in the Doug Ellis stand on the far side, and the top tier, usually reserved for away supporters, is completely closed, and there was a huge Aston Villa club crest draped across the seats with "Lest We Forget" written underneath it, as Villa look to move forward again, coming into this game with 4 wins, 6 draws and 5 defeats. Only 2 wins in 13 games against Rotherham and Swansea, and an equal concern, only 2 clean sheets in 15 games as a whole so far this season. But even last week, looking at social media, I thought Villa were pretty average, but a number of Villa fans were saying maybe it's wishful thinking. They thought the overall style of football was better under Dean Smith.
They played some decent stuff, they got the ball down,
but they flattered to deceive, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't test Joe Lumley too much. Might have had a penalty. I thought there was a good shout for a penalty. They'll be disappointed with the goal they conceded, and I think that's sometimes when you need to. We looked at Norwich. Why have they revived because when they haven't played great, they've still got a result. And I think that if they'd have gone there and got a 0-0, when they haven't been brilliant, haven't tested Lumley too much, when he did get called upon, the keeper made the save, but you have to at least come away with a point, and I thought the goal they conceded was poor.
Grealish plays it round the corner for Twanzebe in the centre circle, quickly wide to the left-hand side, and Adoma now coming in field, has support from Taylor as he's challenged by Williams, and it's not taken long for Adoma to switch to the left-hand side where he's more comfortable, and Kodja to go over to the right where I would imagine he's more comfortable as well.
Yeah, they like Adoma cutting in and doing an inverted play like an inverted winger, and that's how he did it a lot last season.
Now McGinn Wide to the right-hand side, and Codger, I think it was intended for Hutton, who was coming forward at pace, but Hutton has it now on the corner of the penalty area. Back to Horahan and squared to Taylor, who has plenty of room, and he squares it up towards Grealish on the edge of the penalty area. Now wide towards Adoma down the right hand side, onto that right foot. Adoma goes for the curler, and it whizzes through the penalty area and just wide of the far post.
Yeah, some good build-up play, and I thought that first initial pass was meant for Hutton. He was overlapping, giving the width, getting fullbacks forward, so Aston Villa fans will like to see the bodies getting into the area. Then they ended up working it well. Bolton got back into position, and that's why Adoma's come out on this left-hand side, because he wants to cut in on his right. He looked to try and shape it in that far corner, but it didn't come back. He just kept going straight. But good play from Aston Villa there, and I like the positivity, bodies going forward and not just sitting back thinking we're 1-0 up. They want to go and get that second goal.
14 minutes played. You're listening to Aston Villa 1, Bolton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix. For the latest offers, visit your local store or screwfix.com. Here when you need us. Buckley coming forward now for Bolton down the left-hand side. He had the opportunity to find Donaldson in the centre, but instead picked out Oyen Nyland.
Yeah, Nyland will be very relieved that he was able to claim that cross, because the chance came from a poor kick from him, and that might be an area that I think Dean Smith will be looking to strengthen.
Now there's a slip inside the penalty area, and Abraham has been penalised. It was Hobbs who went down, and then Abraham seized the ball inside the penalty area. Oliver Langford has given the free kick, and I don't think there was too much in that.
There wasn't too much. Maybe accidentally clipped the heels of Hobbs, but I thought it was a slip. It would be interesting to see a replay. If he had been play on, then Abraham threw one-on-one, and him and Hobbs just have a little, touch of hands, and there's not too much protestation, but I still think Abraham looked disappointed. I thought he didn't really touch him, and lucky escape for Bolton.
15 minutes played, 1-0 to Villa. Don't forget, tomorrow on TalkSport 2, Motti is back behind the mic. Russ with Matchday Live 2. West Ham against Burnley is the exclusive commentary game from the Premier League at 3 o'clock. Over on TalkSport, Matchday Live comes with Adrian Durham from the Cardiff City Stadium. What's sure to be an emotional day as Cardiff take on Leicester City. We have back-to-back Premier League commentaries. Arsenal against Liverpool at 5:30, followed by Wolves against Spurs at 7:45. Saturday night football on TalkSport, and then on Sunday here on 2 it is Wigan against Leeds from the Championship, a 1:30 kickoff. Long ball played forward by Villa, headed out by Hobbs and gathered by Codger, who comes in field from the right hand side, wide to the left, and McGinn, who swings in the cross, and it's gathered by Anik, unchallenged on the edge of his 6-yard area.
Yeah, that came from more direct play from Aston Villa. It wasn't the best building from the back, so Nyland just put his boot through it, but the way they got onto the second border, Aston Villa, and then got lots of bodies in the box when McGinn's cut inside. There was at least 4 claret and blue shirts in that box showing great intent to get through, but the ball was just too close to the goalkeeper, so the way they reacted to the second ball, very impressive.
Now Adoma on this near side heads back towards his own goal, but he manages to knock the ball off Noon, and it will be a throw-in for Aston Villa. Both managers already out on the edge of their technical areas. It's all fairly tight and intimate down there. Dean Smith, arms folded to his right. Phil Parkinson, a man who's had a good deal of success up and down the EFL. And the same goes for Dean Smith. 3 successive top 10 finishes for Brentford, and you look at the players that were developed and then sold under his time in charge: Tarkowski, Hogan, Dean, Potter, Collan, Egan, Joseph Zoom and Woods. Not a bad team. Very good, and I think that there will be people raiding again in January, because there's a lot more very, very good players that could certainly, I think some of them, I like Donald, the midfielder, Sawyers, yeah, Romain Sawyers. I think he will play. Who was with Dean Smith at Walsall as well. Yeah, I think he'll play in the Premier League. Morpie and definitely Watkins as well. Some very, very good players. And the boys at the back, honestly, there's about 4 or 5 lads there who could definitely play in the Premier League. Well, Mepham already a Welsh international. Yeah. So, and they turned some big bids down on him, and he was fancied in the summer. And Bentley, who's come back into the side. I know he's had a bit of a difficult season, but he's a very good goalkeeper. You mentioned the goalkeeper. There we go. Got to get him in, but he's a good goalkeeper. He's got the distribution. 17 minutes played, 1-0 to Villa, but Bolton coming forward, attacking the Holt end with Noon on the right hand side. Olkowski in support. Here is Ostuma, formerly with Walsall, although not when Dean Smith was in charge. Now Lowe on towards Taylor. and Buckley will try and turn and deliver the cross, but he's held up by Hutton. So Low again with a long lofted ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Noon does well to control, but then a Cruyff turn comes to nothing as he turns into Tuanzebe, and Villa will try and break, and Adoma looks to release Taylor down the left hand side. Taylor though sees his run tracked by Donaldson, tries to find Adoma on the outside. The pass was behind him, and it's a throw into Bolton.
Well, excellent play from Donaldson there though. The desire he showed to sprint back, get goal side, not foul, and then win the throw for his side. Brilliant work for a forward. You know, obviously they want to score goals, but the way he's got back behind the ball there, because that could have been a very promising attack from Aston Villa.
Jack Grealish with the only goal so far, his 36th shot of the season, and the first one which has found the back of the net. Nobody's had more efforts on goal in the Championship and not scored before tonight. Now Noon for Bolton, down the right hand side. He'll take on Taylor, delivers the cross high to the far post. Tuanzebe rises to head away, but it's controlled by Lowe on the corner of the penalty area, wide on the far side. Back towards Williams. Every outfield player now inside the Villa half. Wheater, arms outstretched, looking for options, goes back in field to find Hobbs. And here is Lowe, and the bearded midfielder is forced back towards the halfway line, where he finds Hobbs again, but Horahan slides in to win it back ahead of Ostuma. Now Abraham, infield for McGinn. McGinn has options to his right hand side, including Hutton. Further wide is Codger, but Hutton looks towards the edge of the penalty area, back towards McGinn. Horahan in support, but McGinn crosses high to the far post. It's controlled by Adoma, and the flag is up for offside.
Yeah, just gone too early, and Adoma will be really disappointed, because when you're a wide player and you can see right along the line, especially when you got the markings at 18 up, you should not be offside. Didn't need to go too early, and the run, if he'd have held it right, he was in. Brilliant ball into him, but he went a little bit too early. We're pretty well in line, and I was I expected that flag to go up. So good play from Aston Villa, and Adoma will be disappointed in himself there.
The clearance from Anik turns out to be a good one, I think more by accident than design, but here is Buckley out on the right hand side. A high cross in, looking for Donaldson with the header, and it breaks to Donaldson inside the penalty area. Ostuma with the shot, and it was deflected on its way through, and Nyland is able to gather.
Yeah, I think you don't get many better chances than that when you set up like this. They're the chances, and Zuma he looks to the sky, because he knows if he makes a good contact with that, about 8-10 yards out was he probably, if he hits a good contact, it'd be very difficult for Nyland to keep it out. Good play from Donaldson going in, couldn't quite get the clean header on it, but does well for the ball to come back to Otsuma, who goes and joins him with Donaldson, who has been isolated, and he just scuffs his effort into the floor. It's a very, very simple save in the end. Brilliant chance for Bolton.
Taylor plays it forward for Ostuma again. And here is Noon. One or two grumbles from the home supporters, but Craig Noon only picks out Jack Grealish, who can now look to lead a breakaway for Villa. Wide to this near side, and Adoma, who shows far too much of that to Williams, and Williams was then caught by Adoma, and it's a free kick to Bolton Wanderers. And you coached Joe Williams last season. He gets around, doesn't he?
Joe Williams is a good player. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to work with him at Barnsley last season for a bit, and obviously he was in the first team most of the time. We stepped up for a little while, and very, very good player on loan from Everton. Loves his football. Good first loan at Everton, did well, and he can strike a ball. Very combative midfielder, good energy levels, and I believe he should go on to play in the Premier League. But these loan spells are so good for education, and him playing in a midfield at Villa Park will only be good for his development.
Now McGinn charging forward onto Abraham's layoff into the penalty area left hand side, all alone, then checks back in field, then goes on the outside once again. Codger waits at the far post. Here is Adoma. Adoma drifts in the cross, strikes low, appeals for handball, and it's sliced towards goal by McGinn with the outside of his left boot, and it's swerved into the arms of Ben Anik.
Yeah, not a handball for me. Right in front of us, hit his chest, but good play again from Aston Villa. But in the end, Bolton defended it well.
Now Noon clips it down the line on this near side, the Bolton right, finds Donaldson by the corner flag, and then Noon is cleaned out by Adoma, and that will be a free kick to Bolton Wanderers in a decent position, because the way they're set up, set pieces may be their best route towards a goal.
Yeah, and Aston Villa have conceded the second most set pieces in division after Ipswich, so they'll be looking at a point that they can certainly hurt Aston Villa. They've got to stay switched on, and you're just looking at Noon now walking in slowly. Will someone pick him up? but it's a needless foul from Adoma. Stay on your feet, and I just think he's a good player. Hasn't been in the side lows this season, looks a little bit rusty, but this will be one of Bolton's best opportunities, and when you set up this game plan, this is certainly one of the areas that you believe you can go and score for. So the delivery from Otsuma has to be bang on.
Villa have conceded 10 goals from set pieces already this season. Ostuma is over the free kick, curled in left-footed towards that near post. It goes all the way through, and it's eventually hacked clear by Hutton towards the far side, recovered by Lowe, infield towards Williams, and now Olkowski coming forward from the right-hand side. A high, loopy cross from him towards the far post. Donaldson with a shot on the turn. It's deflected across the penalty area, wide towards Ostuma again. Another high cross from him, and another free header. It's headed over the top by Noon, but it was a Villa player who got the final touch, and it was cleared off the line in the end, and Aston Villa somehow escape.
Whoever cleared that was an unbelievable clearance. I thought it was in when I was looking at the referee's watch. That is an unbelievable clearance. It might have been from Chester, near enough on his goal. What a goal saving clearance that is, but a good spell of pressure from Bolton.
Otsuma has the corner again. It's another in-swinger, high to the far post. Nyland comes and he's dropped it. Confusion inside the area, and he eventually regathers.
Yes, and that's a heart-in-mouth moment for the goalkeeper. It's horrible, such an easy collection, and then he spilt it. And I've heard that Nyland is a very, very good goalkeeper. People who've worked with him over in Norway, but at the moment he's found it difficult settling into his Aston Villa side. I felt when I was here against Swansea, you could feel the tension in the air. When we were here against Preston, he'd actually been dropped and Mark Bunn played, and I just keep thinking, in moments like that happen, then in January you could see Dean Smith strengthening in that position. But that's a very good spell from Bolton, but they haven't managed to draw level.
Well, the player they brought in was Andre Moreira, on loan from Atletico Madrid, but he's not even in the picture now, and having seen him play, you can see why.
Yeah, and then Bunny's maybe in the twilight of his career, did okay against Preston, but still conceded 3 goals, and probably wouldn't be a number one for a club of this stature. So Dean Smith likes his goalkeepers, but was that Chester who cleared that ball off the line? Because whoever it was an unbelievable clearance, a fantastic clearance. How he got his foot so high to scoop that out, to hook it away was brilliant, because I thought that was 1-1.
But it came from a set piece, and really that weakness from Villa, that Achilles heel, was shown to us again.
Yeah, and Dean Smith will have analysed since he's come in. He's now got Neil Cutler as well, who'll be helping out on the set plays. John Terry in there, who specialises at it. And but they need set plays. We saw it in the World Cup. We see it in football so much, especially when teams can frustrate. You have to be good at defending against them. And Aston Villa, 10 goals conceded. Only Ipswich who conceded 11 and conceded more, and that has cost Aston Villa a lot of points, and why they've lost a lot of points from winning positions.
Yeah, they've conceded 12 from winning positions already this season, and that was not a problem for them last season. When they went ahead, they tended to win. Defensively, though, maybe without John Terry, maybe that's
Sam
the
Johnson
reason
as well.
Yeah.
I think Sam Johnson was a big part of that, and so that's something that Dean Smith needs to address.
And Bolton coming forward again now. It's a good ball from Buckley, wide to the left-hand side, and Donaldson. 26 minutes played. Villa lead, but it's Bolton in the ascendancy at the moment. Noon down the right-hand side, drives in a cross, which hits Taylor on the back. Codger is back there to defend. Bolton, though, have bodies around the ball, and eventually a free kick has been given to Aston Villa inside their own penalty area, but they've not really built on the goal.
No, they haven't. They had a little spell at first, but the last 5 minutes or so has been Bolton. Definitely, they're the ones now getting bodies in the box, playing with width, playing with tempo, and it's been a bit of a test for this Aston Villa defence. And obviously, Nyland had that hairy moment, the brilliant clearance off the line. Nyland hasn't had actually made any big saves yet. But going back to the defenders, yes, they've lost John Terry, but I think Twanzebe should be a real star of the future.
Appeals for a free kick now from the Bolton bench as Donaldson goes down under pressure from Chester, but nothing has been given, and the claret shirts are moving forward again with Adoma wide on the far side, the right. Now Hutton with a crossfield ball looking for Codger, who stretches out a long right leg and brings the ball down superbly. Infield towards Grealish, coming in from the left onto the right foot. Jinks once, then twice, fires in the shot, which is shoveled aside by Anik, and Adoma's offside.
Yeah, Adoma offside there, following it in, but that's where we want to see Jack Grealish. You said it to me off air, on air, when he's in those pockets, that's where he makes things tick, and that's a shot on target. and it's a horrible one for a goalkeeper on a greasy night. Bodies coming in and out, it skipped just in front of him, and what Bananek did is he watched it all the way, knew he couldn't hold it, so he watched it, got two hands on it and pushed it to a good area. So although Adoma was onto it, he was offside, but even if he wasn't offside, he wasn't able to get a shot back on goal. So good goalkeeping, but good play from Jack Grealish, and a better reaction because Aston Villa have been under the cosh a little for the last 5 minutes.
28 minutes played. You're listening to Aston Villa 1, Bolton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix, proud partners of the EFL, here when you need us. As Wheater sways away from the challenge of Grealish and knocks a high ball wide towards the left-hand side, and Buckley, who brings the ball down neatly under control, and he's got the option wide of Taylor, a high hanging cross from him on the overlap. Noon will challenge, head towards goal, and this time Nyland rises above Donaldson and claims cleanly and quickly bowls the ball out towards the right hand side, and Adoma quickly has the ball in stride and he's off and running. Kodja and Abraham waiting down the centre. Abraham momentarily is offside, which is maybe why Adoma held on to it. He's now challenged by Lowe. It's back towards Hutton. Infield again to McGinn. Hutton goes for the 1-2 and gets it. It's Hutton's cross high to the far post. Kodja with the volley, 4 yards out, acrobatically way over the top.
Yeah, and the Villa fans are groaning because they know it's brilliant play. Alan Hutton again, it's a modern style of fullback now, isn't it? Getting forward, and he stands up a lovely cross. Earlier in the half, some of his crosses weren't on the money, but that was perfection. Stood it up to the back post. Bolton doing what good back fours do and defend narrow, but I felt Kodja there should be coming and attacking that with his head, not going very acrobatic, coming, meeting it with his head and powering that header down and back across goal. And that's why I believe that the fans in that, behind the goal for Aston Villa are very disappointed and showed their discontent with that finish. Poor effort there from Kodja, but good play from Aston Villa.
Well, we talk about Villa's vulnerability, but they've also scored more headers and goals from crosses than anybody else in the division so far. As Wheater with a back pass which interests Kodja, and it's cleared away by Anik, and then Chester controls, challenged by Donaldson, and here is Grealish, and Grealish has been caught and fouled by Olkowski, and it will be a free kick to Aston Villa a couple of yards inside the Bolton half.
Yeah, so Chester muscled Donaldson out of it again. Could have been a foul on him and then another foul on Grealish, but Villa might moan a little and saying Grealish is getting kicked, but Villa have put a few challenges in as well tonight. One from Hourihane early on, Adoma out wide, so I think the referee's had a good game. He's kept it flowing and not brandished any cards yet.
Grealish has been fouled again, this time by Williams, and Oliver Langford just tells everybody really to close down. Craig Noon comes in to pull Grealish up and maybe just has a word with him, which wasn't too complimentary.
Grealish bought that foul because what he did was, as the ball came in and he knew Williams was coming in at a pace, and he just put on the brakes totally and sort of backed into him and invite Joe Williams to go into the back of him. So there's no malice in it. It's not a bad foul. They've not kicked him trying to stop him from playing, and he's just cover playing. And Grealish having a little chirp at Joe.
But then Grealish tells him to calm down, which is only going to wind him up, isn't it?
And Joe's quite a feisty character, but what they want to do, Jack, just walk away. Bolton concentrate, defend it, and Hourihane this time will need to deliver the ball in, not work it short. You got your big centre halves up, and can you make it count? Just over half an hour gone, and Hourihane needs to deliver this ball with quality.
And Williams said something back, which may have been, unlike you, mate, I play for a Premier League club. Sometimes. Here is Hourihane over the free kick for Aston Villa. Curled in left-footed, high to the far post. Chester with the header, and it's 2-0. No, it isn't. The flag is up, and yet again Aston Villa are flagged offside, and James Chester denied a second goal.
And that's why it's good having this seat where we are, because I was watching it, and what you coach, being an ex-goalkeeper, doing the defensive side of my coaching, defence, stay up as a line, hold to that last step, and to be fair to Bolton, not one of them dropped, and they held, and it looked to me like the linesman got it bang on. It was a tight one, brilliant delivery from Hourihane. We've seen Chester score many goals from it, but I think he'd gone slightly too early, and that would have been a big moment, but I think it was correctly ruled out for offside.
Now Buckley at the other end, just for a second, was goal side of Hutton, and Hutton has fouled him. A very cheap free kick given away by the fullback, and it's in a very good area for Bolton. Better, much better than a corner wide on the far side there left.
Yeah, and Hutton's just, Buckley's done well to win the foul, but Hutton, his experience, doesn't need to commit the foul, and now this is fine lines. Goal disallowed here, can at the other end make it count? But I think it is a foul from Hutton, and just a bit impatient there trying to win the ball, didn't need to, and now Bolton are going to try and capitalise on this. The last delivery was good, but well defended from Aston Villa, and Otsuma it will be looking out swinging this time, and Villa trying to hold their line. They've gone zonal.
Otsuma, left-footed on the left, in towards that near post area, flicked on, and Noon was coming in at the far post, and I think Nyland got the final touch, the goalkeeper, and it squirts behind for a corner.
Yeah, he did what goalkeepers do. You walk after the ball like you're going to take a goal kick and try and make out you haven't got a touch for it. But what Otsuma's done is his timing as he's run in, Donaldson's made the run across the front, glanced the ball across, and it must have been a very, very important touch from Nyland, and Noon at the back post, inches away from connecting. Now is a corner defend. Good pressure from Bolton.
This will now be an in-swinger from Otsuma. From the right-hand side, high to the far post, it's nodded clear. It'll be regathered by Williams. Back towards Taylor, a high diagonal ball from him towards the edge of the penalty area. Wheater rises to try and flick the ball on. Taylor will try and keep the ball in play, and he's conceded a throw-in and not the corner on this near side, the Bolton right. But in terms of clear-cut chances which haven't been offside, Bolton have now had more than Villa. Yeah,
Bolton have started, they've grown, they've got right into the game, and we were worried, weren't we, if you're from a Bolton point of view, if they conceded early, could be very, very difficult. But to be fair, after a good start from Aston Villa, Bolton have definitely grown into this game, got more bodies into the box and put some real quality in, and unlucky not to be level.
Grealish plays it back towards Taylor as Villa try and clear, and it's flicked on by Abraham, who knew the ball came off his head last of all, but he still runs forward to try and claim it was their throw-in. But everybody on this side of the stadium knew it was a Bolton throw, which is taken quickly by Olkowski. Williams then slips at the vital moment, and in doing so he has cleaned out McGinn, but the referee plays on because Villa have the ball and McGinn has a problem here. I think it was an accidental challenge because he slipped Williams as he went to play the ball. As a result, he rather lunged into the body of McGinn, and he's still down as Villa, of course, are caught offside.
Yeah, they're offside again, and Aston, is it Bolton holding a good line or Aston Villa not timing their runs well? McGinn will be alright, but I agree with you. And all the bench are up and everyone's appealing, but I really do believe that Joe Williams slipped there. He's touched a little heavy, and as he's gone to do it, he slipped into him. No malice in it whatsoever. McGinn will be okay, and but in this day and age, everyone says out of control, but I think it was a genuine slip.
Well, Phil Parkinson was having more than a few words with John Terry inside the technical areas in the aftermath of that. Both benches emptied in terms of the coaches to have a discussion as Dean Smith continues to pace around, arms tightly folded, and John McGinn is back on his feet, and Bolton have a free kick. 10 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2. Aston Villa 1, Bolton Wanderers 0, and the long goal kick from Anik, 2 bounces onto the chest of Nyland. Tomorrow, Matchday Live 2 with Russ Williams has commentary on West Ham against Burnley. More claret and blue. John Motson and Alvin Martin, the commentary team at the London Stadium. Over on TalkSport, Matchday Live from the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff against Leicester is the match there with Adrian Durham and Jeff Peters. Our commentaries come from the Emirates. Arsenal against Liverpool at 5:30 with Laura, Sam and the team, and then Wolves against Tottenham at 7:45 with Dance and Dean Ashton. And on Sunday here on TalkSport 2, more championship action. It is Wigan against Leeds with Jim and Ray Houghton. Here at Villa Park, the home side lead, but it's looking an increasingly tenuous lead as Grealish pirouettes and clips a ball forward wide to the right hand side, looking for the run of Hutton, but it's headed away by Taylor, and Grealish has it again, and you make the point to me there, he's getting a bit deeper.
Yeah, he called out the false fullback position, so that's where Hourihane should be for me. Is Grealish is ending up in a fullback position, getting on the ball because he wants to make things tick, but as we've seen, he's at his most effective when he's higher up. So McGinn is the one now in that role, but Grealish for me needs to get higher.
Now McGinn in the number 10 position, plays it wide to the left hand side, and a scurrying Neil Taylor. Now Codger again, who has been rather ineffectual, it must be said at times tonight, rather like he was last week, although at Loftus Road he wasn't alone in claret and blue. Hutton Infield towards Horahan. Grealish again, back towards Tuanzebe, and Bolton really collectively have stepped up 15 yards the longer this game has gone on, and Villa as a result have less room in which to play. But now Kodja by the corner flag looks to ride a challenge. He knocks it in field, the ball strikes Noon on the back of the head and spins behind for a corner.
Yeah, good defending from Noon, but good play from Kodja. But as you say, Aston Villa are having it, and Bolton have squeezed higher up. They're not sitting so deep, they're pressing. Good switching play, good touch, good control from Kodja. He showed it a few times tonight. Now Jack Grealish getting a big ovation because he's got the goal, and the Villa fans know he can be key. But the Villa scored, didn't they, from the last set piece, but it was offside, and Bolton need to get first contact on this.
Grealish takes the corner and then swing it towards the 6-yard area, fisted away by Anik, headed back into the box by McGinn. Tuanzebe on the turn, tried to release Kodja, but Bolton managed to hack the ball away towards the far side, and it's a throw-in for Villa.
Yeah, decent goalkeeping there from Ben Anik, because it was quite low and dipping on it. Knew he couldn't catch it. Too strong fist to it, height, distance, maybe not width, but a decent punch from the Bolton Wanderers goalkeeper.
Nearly 39 minutes played on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL, and it's Villa 1, Bolton 0 at the moment. The early goal from Jack Grealish. This time next week we'll be at Bramall Lane for the first Steel City derby of the season, United against Wednesday in Sheffield. But here in Birmingham, Villa coming forward again with Horahan, back towards Tuanzebe, and now Horahan again. A high ball forward between both Abraham and Kodja, and there was space and time for Olkowski to bring it forward. That's an excellent pass as well, wide to the left hand side, and Buckley. A few Villa fans were looking for the offside flag, but it never came. Now Taylor wide on the far side, the left, back again to Lowe. Williams inside the centre circle, now Otsuma, but Bolton are finding it difficult here to move the ball around with any real comfort. Lowe again finding Williams, and it's back towards Taylor, stabbed forward by Lowe, but it's a hopeful ball in the general direction of Buckley, but then Lowe is fouled by Horahan, and it's a free kick to Bolton once again, and another opportunity to pump that ball high into the Villa box.
You said it, Nigel. Bolton weren't really going anywhere. They're passing the ball, they're getting frustrated, and Horahan now twice has gone to ground in areas of the pitch where he doesn't need to. I think he's a good player, he's an intelligent player, but I think he's lucky then to escape a booking, because he's lunged in, but just not long before, 5 minutes before half time, now Bolton can get their men up, the big guns up, and deliver a ball into the Aston Villa box when there was no danger, no pressure at all.
Otsuma is over the free kick, wide on the left hand side. Every single claret and blue shirt is back defending for Villa. Swirled high into the penalty area, a backpedaling Nyland again fumbles the ball, and it's gone behind for a corner. He rose there with no conviction at all, got both hands to it and failed to catch it. A Bolton corner.
Yeah, again, it should have been a routine catch if you get your feet right and stay inside, but maybe got his geography of his goal wrong, didn't know where he was, ended up putting it behind, and now it's another corner that they have to defend when really the goalkeeper should be catching that and relieving the pressure. It was interesting to see Dean Smith look to his bench as that happened.
Otsuma will take the corner in towards the near post area. It's flicked on, and eventually Grealish will be able to run the ball clear, and he's all on his own, but Grealish may not need any help. Olkowski comes across, and it's a cynical challenge from the pole. Grealish had gone beyond him on the outside. Olkowski knew it, hacked him down, and will receive the game's first card.
Yeah, definitely a yellow card there. Good play from Grealish, and Olkowski he felt he had to do that, even though it was in a wide area. He knew that if he was beaten in the box was Adoma, Kodja, Tammy Abraham really busting a gut to get into that middle. So good play from Grealish, and a good counter-attack, because sometimes that's when teams are at their most vulnerable, when they've committed bodies forward for a set piece and the opposition break with real pace. Horahan again with that wand of a left foot, he's going to whip it in, and Bolton have to stay disciplined and hold that line to the last step, holding the edge of that 18.
Well, Villa themselves have scored 10 set-piece goals already this season, and they've had one disallowed here already in the first half tonight. 3 minutes to play in the first half. Horahan is over the free kick. Adoma currently standing in an offside position, now trots back, and it's in towards the near post area. Kodja's missed it, nodded away by Wheater, And it's Clayton Donaldson who will try to drive clear, but it's McGinn who is strong enough to get his body between Donaldson and the ball, and he now brings it forward himself, high to the far post. Codger launches it across the face of goal. It's flapped up by Anik and headed wide by McGinn. It was a free header 4 yards out on the angle, and he failed to hit the target.
Yeah, good play from Codger. I thought Adoma was offside in the middle, but Codger was okay at the back post. He sort of looped the ball back across. A horrible one for goalkeeper, because you're not really sure what you're going into. You know that you have to backpedal and get something onto it. Ben Anik moved his feet so well. He's brave, got the punch in and took it away off Abraham, who was brave going in there as well. And it dropped down, and McGinn just couldn't quite get his head on, and on it cleanly to direct it in. But good play from Codger. Good goalkeeping though from Ben Anik. A lucky escape though, because just before half time, if Villa had scored that second, it'd been massive for them and a really big blow for Bolton.
Bolton look for a free kick as Noon goes flying midway inside the Villa half, but nothing is being given. Now Abraham wrestling with Wheater, and it's eventually hooked clear by Hobbs up towards the halfway line. Now Olkowski, as the head tennis continues either side of halfway. Donaldson heads it back, Grealish then heads it forward, and here is Codger for Bolton, for Aston Villa. Now McGinn finding Hutton in space down the right hand side. Codger again on the edge of the penalty area, looking to come square. He tries to poke it wide, looking for Hutton, but it goes behind for a goal kick. And at the moment, Jonathan Codger is not quite on the same wavelength as anybody else in an Aston Villa shirt.
No, I felt he had a chance that he should have headed at the back post. He went for a spectacular volley on. Did well with the one ball they lost to the cross, and has held the whip sometimes and done some good touches. But I feel that, like you're saying, for a player who's cost so much, we saw what he did at Bristol City. I know he had an injury last season, but he's played a good number of minutes now, a good number of games, and he's just getting to these areas when that final ball, that final decision, end product isn't quite happening, and that's what will be disappointing Dean Smith and Codger.
We scored 19 goals in his season at Bristol City, 19 in his first season here, but that injury in the second City derby against Birmingham at the end of October last year really halted him in his tracks, and he's yet to really recover in terms of both a goal scorer and his all-round play. Taylor, now at walking pace, invites a challenge from Noon and gets the free kick midway inside the Bolton half, and again Craig Noon did not need to make that challenge there.
He didn't, and if the crowd hadn't shouted though, I think he would have caught Taylor, but Taylor just managed to get his body in. You know, when Codger played for Villa earlier on, did he not play through the middle more instead of wide areas?
He was the main man, wasn't he?
Yeah, I just think that might be a reason why he's not scoring goals. He's not so natural out wide.
And he doesn't look natural. He looks ungainly when clearly he's not ungainly when he's played as a striker.
Yeah, very true.
Grealish and Horahan over the free kick. Horahan delivers again. It's flicked on towards the far post by Codger, and it's gone behind for a goal kick, and we're into a single minute of added time at the end of this first half.
Yeah, and Villa have finished the half okay. I thought that the middle of the first half was Bolton, and they had some good chances, should have registered, and will feel aggrieved that, well, not aggrieved, but unlucky that hard done by, they haven't gone in level. But I think Aston Villa, after such a great start, Bolton have got right back into this game, and I'm sure Phil Parkinson at half time will be saying there's a lot of confidence and a lot of belief in that, and Donaldson's had a good tussle with Chester all evening.
And looking at the performance of Nyland, they'll be saying get the ball in the air underneath his crossbar and see what happens.
You're not wrong too, right, and Nyland will know that.
Now Grealish, the goal scorer, the final man in possession at the end of the first half, as Oliver Langford blows the whistle. The big moment for Jack Grealish in the 4th minute. An excellent through ball from Tammy Abraham. Grealish was alive to the possibilities, rounded Ben Anik and scored his first goal of the season. But since then, Bolton Wanderers have created the clearer chances, and Orjan Nyland, the Villa goalkeeper, looks like an accident waiting to happen at the moment. At half-time, it is Aston Villa 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Thank you, Russ. So, in less than a month, Raheem Sterling will earn more than the entire Bolton Wanderers squad is worth, which tells you a good deal about the haves and have-nots either side of the Premier League relegation zone. But Bolton Wanderers will get the second half underway here at Villa Park, attacking the north stand away to our left-hand side. We are sat low in the Trinity Road here at Villa Park, just level with the edge of the penalty area, which Orjan Nyland will be defending in the second half. And Matt, as a goalkeeping coach, will you have a word with him at half-time? Will the manager have a word?
I think that's the one where Dean Smith knows Neil Cutler well from his time at Walsall, knows how good he is, and I think there'll be one of the ones, where you saw Cuts and Nyland walking off together and say, leave this one to me as a coach.
Now an excellent ball played forward by McGinn. Charging into the penalty area is Codger, who tried to find Abraham 6 yards out, but he couldn't apply the finish.
Yeah, and he's got his head in his hands and he knows, and that was what Tammy Abraham, he scored the brilliant header against Swansea and then had chances to kill it off, and if he's going to hit those heights, hit those figures that he got for Bristol season before last, wasn't prolific for Swansea. He gets into great positions, would have been a dream start to this second half, would have totally knocked Parkinson's team talk out of the window if Aston Villa got that in front of the whole end. Great chance. It just looked like he just got his stride wrong and missed it. I thought he was just going to tap that ball home. Brilliant ball in from Codger. Great chance for Villa, and Bolton still right in this game.
And here is Noon coming forward now for Bolton in their white shirts. He nutmegs Adoma. Wide to the left-hand side, and Taylor. 3-8 for the cross, delivered by Taylor. Horahan controls and then gives the ball away to Buckley, who slips inside the penalty area. It's regathered by Taylor, laid back towards Lowe at the top of the D, and now wide towards the far side. And there's an opportunity for Noon to try and attack. Back to Lowe again, and square to Williams. 35 yards out. Bolton here have plenty of white shirts forward. It's Noon who can try and deliver the cross, but he's challenged by Adoma. But Taylor will deliver the cross, and it's flicked on. It'll break towards Noon inside the penalty area, and it's deflected up and over the crossbar by Alan Hutton. It's a corner to Bolton, and another glorious opportunity spurned by Bolton Wanderers.
You might say I think that might have been the foot of Nyland that got that over the bar. I have to see it again, but fortuitously he dropped to Noon. He did everything right, but either Hutton or Nyland deflected that over the bar. Lucky escape.
Ostuma with the corner, high to the far post. Hobbs was arriving, but so too was Hutton, who glances the ball away with his shaven head, and it's another Bolton corner.
Yeah, little eyebrows of Hutton. He had to get that touch of it. Dangerous in swinging ball deep to the back post. Ostuma's got to make the run across now, but good glancing header away there from Hutton. But whoever managed to get that ball over the bar, fine lines. Should have been 2-0, nearly 1-1.
And the Turk Ostuma will now take the corner again from this side, the left. An outswinger high into the penalty area, met firmly by Horahan. And there's an opportunity for Grealish to run it clear, but he's given the ball away. Williams coming forward now, picks his way through the challengers, crosses in, looking for Donaldson. Volley clear by Chester, and it will be a Bolton throw. And the small knot of Bolton supporters on the far side really behind their team, because after seeing an opportunity which should have put Aston Villa 2 goals up, again they have a grip on this game. Taylor with the cross into the penalty area, flicked on by Donaldson, and Nyland will get there before Buckley. A reminder of the two sides: Villa, Nyland in goal, Hutton, Tuanzebe, Chester and Taylor, McGinn, Horahan and Grealish, Adoma, Abraham and Codger. Codger coming forward now, clips it wide to the left-hand side, and Neil Taylor. His cross high to the far post. Alec has now flapped at it, and it's hooked away by Hobbs inside the penalty area towards this near side. Boomed long and high by Noon up to the halfway line, and Donaldson does well to initially control and then cushion a header wide to the far side. He lays the ball infield towards Lowe. That's terrific centre forwards play from Clayton Donaldson. Now a high ball wide to this near side from Williams, looking for Noon over his head, and it's a Villa throw. The Bolton team, Alec in goal, Olkowski, Hobbs, Wheater and Taylor, Noon, Williams, Lowe and Buckley, with Otsuma playing off Donaldson. 4 minutes played in the second half. Villa lead by a goal to nil, but we have seen the vulnerabilities of both teams already since half time.
Yeah, great chance for Abraham, good chance for Noon, bit fortuitous how dropped him, and then that ball into the box there, and it was Ben Anik's turn not to be the most convincing of goalkeepers, and I felt he should have just come and punched that. He did some good punching in the first half, tried to catch it, and he was lucky that the ball dropped to safety.
Now Villa play a dreadful ball across the midfield, and Bolton will win it back and try and break. Here is Donaldson on the far side. Now Lowe finding Williams, and again Bolton are patient when they had the opportunity to maybe try and get bodies forward, and Jack Hobbs, well known in the Midlands following his time at both Leicester and Forest, goes all the way back towards Anik, who clears downfield. Donaldson controls and lays it wide towards the far side. Olkowski with a high cross into the penalty area. It's beyond Noon, who will try and keep the ball in play, but it's 2 bounces out of play for a throw into Villa by the corner flag on this near side there right.
Yeah, probably not the best decision, Alkowski. You've only got little Craig New coming in the back post against Hutton, well over hit, but Bolton have managed to win it back because they sort of boxed Aston Villa in. That's what they call it, box him in, don't let him out.
Now Lowe in the centre circle, wide towards the far side again, and Olkowski has support from Lowe in field, and once again Bolton Wanderers have had the lion's share of possession so far in the second half. 50 minutes played, Aston Villa 1, Bolton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport 2 on the home of the EFL. As it's clipped forward again, looking for Donaldson. Chester has been drawn out of the centre to make the clearance in front of the Bolton fans, and it's a Wanderers throw-in, level with the edge of the Villa penalty area, and Villa are not looking comfortable. Taken quickly towards Williams, who steps inside, and he's found Donaldson, and stretching out that right leg to divert the ball behind for a corner is Chester, and Bolton Wanderers have their 3rd corner of the second half already.
I'm getting feelings of the Preston game. Villa coming out, yes, they had the one chance, but actually Bolton are the ones that are having more possession, having the pressure, and Villa just sitting off and looking more like the away side.
Otsuma will take the corner. This time it's an in-swing towards the near post area. Abraham rises to clear, nodded back in field by Buckley, and now Lowe, and there's a player down inside the penalty area, and Bolton have been penalised anyway, and Aston Villa breathe again.
I'm not really sure where the infringement was, what the foul has been given for, and
offside maybe?
Yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, yeah, because certainly I couldn't see a foul in there, and the ball was whipped into a dangerous area. Everyone was committed. Nyland went for it, but it was Abraham who got a good header on it, and that's what good big physical strikers are like. Yes, they want to be scoring goals at the one end, but at the other end they've got to be good in that front hole. That's where I believe Manchester United should put Paul Pogba. Put him in that front hole, don't mark anybody, just be there, block that area. You're 6'4", go and attack it and get a good head on it. And there's an injury now to the Bolton player who went in. He was fully committed, so yeah, if he was given for offside, maybe that would be the case on the second phase, but I couldn't see a foul in there. Is it Hobbs, who's down injured? I think it's Jack Hobbs, who just took a sore one in the ribs, and Bolton will be hoping he's okay, because when he was at Forest he had a few injuries, but when he does play, he's a very, very good on the ball, but also good physical defender, and you need the likes of him and Wheater to be on it when you've got big players like Abraham up against you. So hopefully for Bolton, Hobbs are okay, but Bolton have definitely, since surviving that early scare, have had more of the ball, look more of a threat, forced corners, and Phil Parkinson will be very happy with how his side's playing.
Well, Hobbs, as a youngster, when he moved to Leicester from Liverpool, has been talked about as a potential Premier League centre-half. Had a very good start to his career. And we mentioned Leicester, they are at Cardiff tomorrow, and Matchday Live comes live from there with Adrian Durham and Jeff Peters. And it's sure to be a day with a good deal of meaning as Hobbs comes across towards this near side. Arsenal against Liverpool at 5:30, Wolves against Spurs at 7:45. The Premier League games live and exclusive to national radio on TalkSport tomorrow. Here on TalkSport 2, Motti is back behind the mic for West Ham against Burnley at 3 as part of Matchday Live 2 with Russ from noon. And on Sunday, more action from the Championship. Wigan against Leeds with Jim and Ray Houghton. Hobbs now back on the field, back on his feet as Villa come forward again, attacking the Holt end away to our right hand side. Here is Chester, a support from Tuanzebe, and this is where Villa will always see plenty of the ball, because Bolton have been content to sit off almost up towards the halfway line. Ostuma finally engaging Tuanzebe, but he finds Abraham, who loops a pass wide to this near side looking for Hutton, and it's eventually cleared away. Ostuma, the smallest player on the pitch, is beaten to it in the air by Horahan, and now Adoma has it for Villa. A low scuffed cross in from him is blocked by Lowe, who takes some time to find his bearings but then does eventually clear. Here is Horahan, and now Taylor up towards Abraham just outside the Bolton penalty area. Taylor again, now McGinn looking to spin and play the ball inside, but as he sprawled he lost possession, and now McGinn still has to extricate himself from the challenge of Hobbs, who has gone down and stayed down. So Bolton are playing on with 10 men here, but they're moving forward with Noon on the left-hand side. Buckley in support, but it's an awful cross from Noon, lofted high over the crossbar, and it's a goal kick. It's Taylor, in fact, the player who was down.
Yeah, good area there for Noon. Bolton got bodies in the box, but again, a poor cross. And you're just looking at it for both managers. I feel that the Villa fans are a little bit subdued, a little bit apprehensive, is that the word? Not sure that they're seeing his team
very apprehensive.
Yeah, haven't gone and killed this game off, and Bolton are creating chances, and I feel that the wide men, especially for Aston Villa, maybe could be more effective. And you're looking at the bench, will he bring Bolasie on, will he bring Hogan on and try and really get that second goal and kill this game off?
Abraham tries to spin on the edge of the area, but he loses out, but it's won back by Grealish. Olkowski was caught in possession, and now down the left-hand side it's Kodja. Back towards Taylor. Taylor in field again, finding Grealish on the half-turn, who's able to turn now, and there's plenty of space for Kodja to assess the cross in towards the near post, headed away by Wheater. But Hutton has time to gather and assess his options on the right corner of the penalty area. Low in field towards McGinn, challenged by Williams, and I think Williams won the ball there, but the referee has given a free kick 20 yards out from goal.
Yeah, and looking at Parkinson's reaction, he's right in line with it, and the Villa players didn't appeal for a free kick, and I thought Williams definitely got the ball. It was an aggressive challenge, but it was fair. He's gone and got the ball, and now Aston Villa again have got a chance to put that ball into a dangerous area. And if Aston Villa score from this, I'm sure Parkinson will be very, very upset, because I don't think it was a foul, and it's a massive moment. The next goal in this game is obviously so important, with it only being a 1-0 lead to Aston Villa.
56 minutes played. Jack Grealish's goal continues to divide the two sides, and it's Grealish and Horahan over the free kick. Horahan could maybe even try and sneak one in at the near post, but it's Grealish who curls it high to the far post, and the downward header is in, and it's Axel Tuanzebe who follows Chester, and it's Chester who is claiming the goal along with Tuanzebe, and the set piece works for Aston Villa once again. 2-0.
Yeah, and Joe Williams is having a word at the referee and saying, alright, we should pick up, we should defend, but there was not a foul there, and we said it'd be contentious if they score. This time Bolton, the one person at the back drops, plays everybody onside. Chester gets onto it, brilliant ball in. Everyone thought Horahan was going to deliver it and Grealish would run over it, but they want those out-swinging balls into that second 6-yard box, and it can't come for it. Brilliant header from Chester, close range in front of the whole end, and now they're going to hear the noise in that whole end, and the apprehension has probably been lifted, but I still think it's a very contentious moment. It was not a foul from Joe Williams.
Aston Villa leading by 2-0. 57 minutes played. James Chester was his third of the season, and Phil Parkinson stands there, arms folded. And at any stage of a game you need things to go your way, as Oztuma wins it back on the edge of the penalty area. Now Lowe lays it into the path of Buckley. On the overlap is Taylor down the left hand side, high cross to the far post, and Nyland is able to gather this time, although he collides with Taylor, and the free kick has been given to Aston Villa. But it wasn't a free kick, was it? I mean, we've seen challenges like that go in elsewhere on the field, and it's not being given.
Yeah, I don't think it was a free kick. I thought he got the ball. I thought he came in. It was a good challenge, and it'll be interesting to see the goal again. It's hard for us to see from here where we're sat, but in the first half it was given for offside. Chester, very, very tight decision, maybe gone too early. And again with that one, it looked like Bolton were holding, but I thought maybe the man at the back just dropped slightly, but it still looked like a very tight decision. The benefit has gone to the attacking player. Good header from Chester, but it was more about the free kick being given away, and they've been made to pay, have been punished, Bolton, and it's a massive moment in this game.
Well, before this game, Villa had scored more goals from set pieces, more goals from crosses, and more headers than anybody else, and we've just seen a ball crossed in from a set piece, headed into the back of the net as Nyland clears downfield. TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Aston Villa leading by 2-0, and now looking to extend their lead with Adoma wide towards the right hand side, and Abraham. The halt rises as Abraham charges towards the edge of the penalty area, but never really seemed to have the ball under control, and Wheater is able to nip in and knock it behind for a corner.
We saw in the first half brilliant play to set up Grealish, but I think that is a bit of definitely of Abraham's play, that there's times where he could get the next pass off and then go and get in and probably end up with a tap in or create a chance. His final ball gets in great areas but doesn't always come off.
Played short by Horahan towards Grealish on the right hand side. Two Bolton players drawn towards the ball, and Grealish challenged by Noon. Grealish goes down and quickly gets back up. No free kick given, and it's still Grealish back towards Horahan. And now a reverse ball to pick out Hutton on the right hand side. Codger curls his run to stay onside, but Hutton goes round the back, crosses high to the far post, but it's headed clear eventually by Buckley wide to the far side. But Buckley was the furthest Bolton player forward. And here is McGinn down the left, another high cross in looking for Codger, and it's Noon who's back there defending, just to stoop in and head the ball out on the far side for a throw into Bolton, to Villa rather.
Yeah, a bit more pressure there for Aston Villa. Balls coming into the box. Good play from Hutton. I think he's got well forward. Some of his balls have been good. That one there, he tried to dink it in. I thought it might have been a hard low one with defenders coming back towards their own goal, but good play still from Aston Villa.
Christian Doidge and Josh McGuinness, the two strikers on the bench for Bolton, are now warming up as Villa win another throw-in on this near side, which Alan Hutton will take. 61 minutes played. Aston Villa 2, Bolton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport 2. Hutton back towards Adoma, but Bolton have bodies back, but it's Adoma who comes through the crowd, lays it back towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's eventually slid clear by Hobbs on this near side for a throw-in to Bolton Wanderers. Now McGinn back towards Tuanzebe, and here is Horahan once again. Hutton back towards Horahan, right in front of the technical areas. Dean Smith, John Terry, Phil Parkinson all stood there along with Lee Butler, the Bolton goalkeeping coach, who was also a goalkeeper here at Villa Park back in the day. Now Grealish wide on the far side, the left, cutting infield towards the edge of the penalty area. Still Grealish, right foot shot is blocked. McGinn on the edge of the penalty area, right foot shot from him is blocked by Lowe, and it spins out to Adoma. Hutton in support on the overlap. Adoma now goes wide to create the angle for the cross, and he's found by Hutton, but there are three Bolton players around the ball, and Taylor is eventually able to clear up towards the halfway line, but it's quickly cut out by Neil Taylor. Now Horahan, and Villa look much more like it following the second goal, contentious as it may have been. Codger sweeps inside beyond a challenge, and a Bolton player has gone down. Codger plays the 1-2 with Abraham. It comes back towards Abraham. Appeals for handball mainly from the Holt end. Olkowski, the player who went down under the challenge of Codger, is now back on his feet, and Villa have it back again, and they're putting on the sort of pressure now that the Villa crowd were looking for them to do for much of the game, although they've now given the ball away. Here is Williams coming forward. Donaldson just offside at the moment, but checks his run, and here is Donaldson now on the right for Bolton. Three wait for the cross, and what could be a problem is none of them are Clayton Donaldson, but it's eventually laid back by Olkowski, and here is Wheater. Hobbs now wide towards this near side, and Taylor down the line, and it's cut out by Adoma for a throw-in.
Yeah, good bit of play from Villa. Bolton then having a little spell, but Villa have been good, and they got that second goal. And I think if they want to really put out a statement and really get these, get that belief and that optimism into the stadium, go and put Bolton to the sword. Go and make it 3, make it 4. Go and show them this Aston Villa team are really what it takes. And for these players that are trying to prove to Dean Smith they can be in these plans, they should be looking to do that for sure.
Now Chester's clearance almost falls for Buckley inside the penalty area, but it's Tuanzebe who was back there to find his goalkeeper Nyland. Aston Villa 2, Bolton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix. For the latest offers, visit your local store or visit screwfix.com. Here when you need us. And Bolton may be about to make a change. Lloyd Dyer is the player who is heading towards the Bolton bench. 36 years of age now, but still quick.
Yeah, and he's I'm sure he's here as a very young player for Aston Villa. Played for Birmingham City, scored goals here for Burton Albion, played a lot of games for Burton, and I know Lloyd, he lives in the area and he still feels he's as quick as he was. He thinks he's actually got quicker, so he'll be looking to come on, and he'd love a goal here at Villa Park.
Odzuma now low, and here is Taylor down the right hand side as Villa look at it, but the ball forward is cut out by Hutton, who seemed to catch Noon on his follow through, but the free kick not given by Oliver Langford, the referee. Abraham now looks to turn away from Hobbs, and Hobbs wins the ball back, and Wheater will work it wide to the far side, but Abraham working hard wins it back. Olkowski is still down on the floor, but here is Kodja moving forward now. Infield, it's still Kodja, and he tried to take on one man too many, and Adoma's shot was eventually blocked, and Lowe will be able to clear the ball away with the help of Noon up to the halfway line. And Kodja just looks like a player who cannot make the right decision to save his life at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's instinctive. He's like he's thinking about it, not playing naturally. And now, just as the referee gives a free kick, Olkowski bounces up. I don't think it's a foul from Kodja, but yeah, I agree. He's just, his end product's not quite there. Is he going to shoot? Was he going to slip the pass? Then that's too many touches and it just closes up. Well, when he's really on his form and confident, then I think there he just be touching inside, bang, right foot, getting his shot off.
And John Terry is now giving it just a bit more than that to John Brooks, the fourth official, about the decision to stop play. But it's Lloyd Dyer who will be coming on, most recently with Burton Albion, relegated with them last season, and now looking to help Bolton away from the lower reaches of the Championship table, although they still had a much better start than they managed 12 months ago. They didn't win any of their opening 11 games, picked up only 2 points in that run, and they survived with 43 points in the end, and in many other years they would have had absolutely no chance. And you can hear the boos from the home crowd as Bolton get the drop ball and played all the way back towards Nyland.
He must have actually took a blow to his face, Olkowski, because he's changed his shirt for a blood shirt, so there must have been a little bit of blood.
Now McGinn, who is offside down the right hand side, and it's a free kick to Bolton Wanderers with 67 minutes played. Aston Villa lead by 2-0, and the situation they are in with a new manager, they will take any sort of win, but elements of this performance have not been convincing, but with a new manager that's often the case.
Yeah, where Aston Villa are at the moment, results are the most important things, then you want the performances to come, but this is where Aston Villa players need to thrive. They need to love it and think, look, we're 2-0 up, don't take gung-ho risks, but go and enjoy it. But the most important thing, as you say, is a result and getting the win, but they haven't been. Bolton should be able to take a lot of positives from this, but at the moment they haven't managed to register and trail 2-0.
Will Buckley, the player who comes off, and Lloyd Dyer comes on. Scored the winning goal for Burton at Bolton last season in what was a real relegation 6-pointer, as Bolton just about clung on towards the end of the season, as Twanzebe plays a long ball forward. Kodja is inside Olkowski, and the left-footed volley from the angle is launched high into the Holt.
Yeah, one ball takes out the Bolton defence, and again good strength to hold off Olkowski. No, it's a half chance, it's a decent chance really. If he can get over it, then he crash it on target, and he'd be disappointed. It was, even though under pressure from, I think it was maybe Wheater, he feel that he should be hitting the target. Did Lloyd Dyer score the goal for Leicester once that got them promoted at Bolton for Leicester?
Jason Bourne, our Leicester supporting producer, has his fists raised, so yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did when Leicester went up to the Premier League.
Here is Grealish coming forward now. Josh McGuinness will be on shortly for Bolton, and now it's wide to the far side by Kodja. Taylor in field. Horahan had the opportunity to deliver the cross, but he finds Taylor, who does deliver the cross. Alec is nowhere again. Abraham rising, and the overhead kick is just over the top. Terrific improvisation there from Albert Adoma, and Villa not too far away from a third.
Yeah, good ball in, good defending from Bolton. I thought that one of the strikers there was going to get on the end of it. It might have been Adoma actually, but then when it's come back out and he's gone, a really good improvisation. Annick's route to the spot and just goes over the bar. What a goal that would have been.
Warm welcome for the Villa fans for the former Birmingham striker Clayton Donaldson as he comes off, and Josh McGuinness, the Northern Ireland international, comes on. Olstuma looking for McGuinness, but the pass was just behind him. Chester will clear. Grealish and Chester with the goals for Aston Villa so far this evening as we head towards the final 20 minutes on Talk Sport 2. West Ham Burnley coming up on Matchday Live 2 tomorrow with John Motson and Alvin Martin. Russ Williams in the chair over on Talk Sport. Once they go round the grounds with Adrian Durham live from the Cardiff City Stadium, where Leicester City are the visitors. Back-to-back Premier League commentaries. Arsenal against Liverpool and then Wolves against Spurs. A 7:45 kickoff, and it's Wigan against Leeds on Sunday here on 2. As Hutton comes forward now for Villa, sweeps it into the area. Abraham was looking to turn at the near post, but his first touch was a bit heavy and Hobbs is able to clear. Now McGinn finding Hutton again, and Hutton's got room to move inside towards the edge of the penalty area, square towards Grealish. Grealish, all right foot, tries to thread the eye of the needle to pick out either Codger or Taylor, finds neither, and Bolton will clear. Otsuma, and it's a good ball played forward, and now Dyer has some space wide on this near side. He'll look to try and take on Tuanzebe for pace, and he's caught by Adoma, is he? Not according to the referee, who smiles as he waves away the appeals from Lloyd Dyer.
Yeah, I just think Tuanzebe's done well, watched the ball and ushered out of it, and Lloyd Dyer's frustrated there, but not a foul for me. Very, very good decision from the referee.
Otsuma quickly coming forward now from a throw-in. Infield towards Williams, 25 yards out. Further square to Noon. Left-footed shot from him is not too far wide.
What a strike, what a strike. We mentioned in the first half when he cut in from the right and he didn't let a shot go. And that's what his trademark was for Cardiff. He knew what he wanted to do and he got strikes in, and there he cuts in, hits it, it's wobbling, it's moving. Nyland got after it, he didn't think, he wasn't confident at all, and I was just waiting for that net to bulge, but just wide of the post. What a great strike and what a massive moment that would have been for Bolton if they got back into it. Good effort there from Craig Noon.
Well, Craig Noon scored Bolton's last winning goal in a 1-0 success against Derby County. And they've beaten some of the sides in form so far this season. West Bromwich Albion, Birmingham and Derby. And also victorious against Reading. But 3 of those wins came in August, which has been a problem for them. And which is why Phil Parkinson has begun to become under a slight bit of pressure, which would be very unfair as the flag's up for offside. Bolton, a side who almost fell into administration at the start of the season. Had that happened, they would have lost 12 points straight away, as Yannick Bolasie comes on for Aston Villa, his 9th appearance from the bench so far this season, and it's a straight swap for Albert Adoma.
Yeah, Bolasie will be believing that he can get on the ball, make things happen. He'll be frustrated that he hasn't made many starts for Aston Villa. You say 9 appearances from the bench. He came on against Preston, had a big moment, scored. I'm sure he scored a header in another game as well at the back post, might have been against Rotherham. So he has scored goals, but he'll be wanting to come here from Middlesbrough from Everton instead of Middlesbrough to get some real game time, because he had the chance to go up to Tony Pulis. He decided to come here. He's not been getting game time. We want to have an impact now, a cameo role, and try and force his way into the starting lineup.
Of course, he suffered that ACL injury back in December 2016 after moving to Everton for plenty of money, and he's never quite been the same since, and never been given the game time since, in fairness to him.
Yeah, big injury, and the sort of player he is as well. And when you have, I've done my cruise ship twice, and it's hard enough in goal. So for the outfield lads, they need a bit of time to get back and make their knee feel normal and get back to used to how to do it. And especially when you're a big guy like him, but twisting, turning, tricky player. So, but it was a horrible injury, and hopefully he can get back to the player he was.
Now Wheater finds his goalkeeper Anik, who clears downfield. 74 minutes played on Talk Sport 2. Aston Villa lead by 2-0. Jack Grealish with the early goal, and then early in the second half a second from James Chester. Now McGuinness wide on the far side, caught by Tuanzebe, but Bolton play on. The cross delivered into the penalty area by Noon, but eventually cleared by Taylor. Straight out of play on the far side for a throw into Bolton.
Yeah, they need to score soon if they're going to get back into this game. Bolton, they need to keep pressing, get some balls in, and maybe they should have left Donaldson on and brought McGuinness on and just gone for it a bit more. But
well, they've scored 2 goals in 8 games.
Exactly, and you can see, even though they've got into good areas, Nyland hasn't had many serious saves to make, and apart from the noon effort early on in the half when the ball dropped to him and a shot from distance, they haven't created too much. Even though they've had decent bits of possession, they haven't really looked too much of a threat, and Parkinson needs to address that, but it's difficult.
Now Williams manages to turn Horahan forward towards McGuinness, who was looking for runners inside as he dabbed the ball away from Chester, but it's intercepted and then cleared downfield by Nyland. And there's a wrestling match between Taylor and Balassi, and Balassi, strong enough to stay on his feet, wins the ball back and now charges towards the Bolton goal. Wide on this near side, an extravagant back heel infield looking for Abraham, which is eventually gathered by Ben Anik, who quickly bowls out towards the halfway line. Now Dyer back again towards Taylor, and there's an opportunity for Lowe to try and get the ball forward, but Jason Lowe, as we saw for long spells during his career at Blackburn, started off as a defender, and he is more defensive minded. Here was Ostuma with a ball which was in the general direction of Lloyd Dyer, but easily cut out by Hutton. Now Balassi finding Hutton again. 14 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Villa lead 2-0. This will be their second victory under Dean Smith. Both of them have come at home, alongside 2 defeats away from home against Norwich and Queen's Park Rangers. Now Horahan on towards Grealish again, who manages to stand firm as the challenge came in from behind from Wheater, and it's still Grealish, but then he loses the ball far too easily to Noon, and he almost played it through towards McGuinness, and it's a very important challenge by Chester to ensure he didn't. Now Taylor coming forward on the left hand side, wide towards Codger again. Codger infield towards Taylor, and Codger using his paces round the back, but his cross back towards the edge of the penalty area only finds Lowe, and Bolton are able to clear.
Yeah, good give and go, but again the final ball not quite there from Codger.
Here is Grealish, right-footed shot from him, high and wide.
Yeah, Grealish over the bar there, and look, they had the first home win here under Dean Smith. They kept a clean sheet. Villa haven't kept many clean sheets this season, so they'll be desperate to keep a shutout again, to take the positives, and if they can get a clean sheet, even though Nyland hasn't looked the most convincing, Bolton need to get back into it. They need their subs, Dyer, McGuinness, to have an impact, because they haven't come on and really threatened. They've made the third final throw of the dice, and they need to get back into this soon.
Final change for Bolton, and it's Erhun Ostuma who is taken off, and Christian Doige comes on, the player who was signed from Forest Green Rovers at the start of the season, and he's quickly onto the ball down the centre, and it's Twanzebe with an important challenge, and eventually it's cleared away by Taylor on the far side for a throw-in. Doige with Bolton's only goal in their last 5, which was a late equaliser at Rotherham, their only point in their last 5 games as well, and he's another player who has been given an opportunity higher up the divisions by Phil Parkinson, as a low cross driven into the penalty area by Olkowski is controlled and cleared away by Horahan. Headed forward again towards the edge of the box by Williams, but now Villa will look to break with McGinn on towards Balassi, charging down the centre, and Wheater with a block challenge, got none of the ball and plenty of Balassi, and it's a yellow card for the former Middlesbrough man.
Yeah, no complaints there for Wheater. He thought he could nick it, and Balassi looked like he'd overran it, just got that toe. Definite foul, definite yellow card. Good direct play from Balassi, but you look at, no disrespect, but if you look at the recruitment that Parkinson's been able to make, you look at the bench of Aston Villa, the likes that he had in that, Balassi coming on, Hogan on the bench, all of these players will surely start for Bolton, so it shows you what a difficult job it is for Parkinson. But here's now another chance for Villa to go and really put this game to bed. 3-0, game over, people can relax, but yeah, definite foul, definite yellow card, and let's see what Horahan goes for goal or decides to deliver.
30,802 the crowd, over 10,000 fewer than were here for the Swansea game, which was of course on a Saturday afternoon with a larger away support. The free kick played short. Here is McGinn, and it's McGuinness who is forcing him away from goal, but McGinn does well to turn and play a high ball across the penalty area. Balassi was the target, and here is Balassi now, found by Hutton, and he's all tricks with the short sleeves and gloves. Balassi's low cross into the penalty area, controlled at the near post by Abraham, but he can't get his feet in order, and it's cleared away as far as Taylor. Now Grealish out on the left hand side. Codger again looking to provide the width, and here is Codger again, back towards Taylor. Horahan, awful pass from him, and it's very easily cut out by Doidge, and then the referee is given a free kick for a challenge on Horahan, who was pretty lucky.
Yeah, but he got caught on it, but the referee now just signalled over there for Hogan to come on. But I just feel that that's Horahan's last action. He had a little pull maybe on his shoulder there, but yeah, he was pretty lucky getting caught on the ball. But Hogan's going to come on now, and he's going to want to sorry, it's Abraham coming off. Sorry, I thought the way Horahan was walking off there and moving his arm, but Hogan's going to come on, try and have an impact. But Bolton, you cannot fault their commitment. They kept pressing, they kept going right to the end, but I do feel they do lack that bit of quality, and if I was a Bolton fan, I'd be pretty concerned. But when you have to buy all your players from the lower divisions, McGuinness is from League One, from Charlton, Otsuma from Warsaw, Doidge from Forest Green, it's always going to be very, very difficult when you're playing against some Premier League players. 9 minutes to play. Scott Hogan comes on. Aston Villa 2, Bolton Wanderers 0 on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix, proud partners of the EFL, here when you need us. And Scott Hogan, a player known very well to Dean Smith. They were both at Brentford together. Dean Smith sold him to Aston Villa for £9 million in January 2017. As Bolton come forward now, Olkowski with a powerful run from midfield, back towards Dyer, and here is Lowe, wide towards Taylor down the right. 8.5 minutes to play. Hogan scored 7 in 7 following a long-term knee injury for Dean Smith at Brentford back in 2015-2016, then 14 in 25 the following season before moving on to Bolton, to Aston Villa. As Lowe has it now for Bolton, finding Taylor. Now Dyer, challenged by Hutton. He does well though, Dyer. Real low centre of gravity to maintain his balance. Nutmeg McGinn and find Lowe. Back towards Noon, who tried to find Dyer again, but this time Hutton had seen that trick before. And here is Balassi looking to move forward. He rode the challenge from Noon, and then the referee had to think about it and has given the free kick to Aston Villa, and he's booked Craig Noon. I think he's saying there's been a few fouls that have gone on, but Balassi there, if he didn't hurdle the challenge, then he would have been brought down. So that's why I think the referee's given it. Good little play from Lloyd Dyer. Well read though by Alan Hutton. He stepped in and blocked it well. But going back to Scott Hogan, I bet he loved it when he saw Dean Smith coming in, and hoped that, because he's had a stop-start time at Aston Villa, injuries, not in the team, and they want to get back to those goal-scoring ways, because at Brentford he was a very, very coveted player. Brentford coped well without him, to be fair, but he'll hope that he can get back to those goal-scoring ways, and a goal tonight, he would love that. 7 in 51 league games, although more than half of those have been from the bench. But here is Hogan now, wide on the right-hand side. And it's a good-looking cross, which is volleyed clear by Olkowski. And now Bolton will try and bring the ball clear, but it's Noon who's gone down. Taylor fires in the shot. It's deflected off Lowe, spins across the penalty area, and Bolton will be able to clear with Taylor. Long and high down the centre. McGuinness with an excellent nod down to try and pick out Doidge, whose first touch on the run was just a bit heavy. Invited Tuanzebe to win it back, which he did. Yeah, Tuanzebe's done well. He picked it out well, and he's so athletic, he looks so comfortable. But that again was another sort of promising position for Bolton, and then again ends up with nothing, and they haven't really created enough in this half. And as much as they look to fret through the middle third of the first half, they haven't really done enough in this second half to get back into the game. Olkowski, and the pressure in the first half came from crosses, but they've not really been able to deliver those. But now Williams, and that's an excellent ball. Doidge could be in, but it's a challenge from Tuanzebe. Villa looked to the linesman, but the flag never came. Doidge clean through for a second before Tuanzebe shut the door. Looked like a very tight, I thought he was offside there, but it must have been a tight one. But Tuanzebe didn't give it up, and he showed brilliant recovery to get the challenge in. But Doidge's touch, I believe, should have been tighter and not given Tuanzebe the chance. 6 minutes to play. Bolton corner.
curled in by Noon, high into the penalty area. It's nodded clear. Dyer will try and win it back, but Balassi gets there first. Dyer then makes the challenge, but Balassi is strong enough to ride that, and he moves off down the right-hand side. He's got 2 Bolton players with him, and he shrugs off Williams, and it's still Balassi. He shrugs off Williams again, and then believes he was pulled back, appeals plaintively towards the referee, but nothing is given, and Williams can bring the ball clear. And Yannick Bolassi's got the look of a real crowd pleaser here at Villa Park, but now it's Bolton looking to move forward again, but Taylor is able to, with the help of Chester, read the header, and Villa will clear.
Yeah, not always the best for game management. Maybe you should run the ball to the corner, but it looked like Bolassi's having fun. He's enjoying himself. But I thought Williams did give him a little pull on the shoulder. Referee decided not to give it. But going back there, if Doidge had a tighter touch or even got a shot off earlier, he let Tuanzebe back into it. I don't think he could have hit it first time, but if he had a tighter touch, Tuanzebe couldn't back in. And tell you what, 2-1, suddenly the whole mood of this place would have changed and set up a real grandstand finish.
But Doidge, realistically, is learning how to play in the Championship. He's been either non-league, League 2 last season, scored 25 goals in a poor side at Forest Green, as Hutton comes forward and finds Hogan, who is offside, and the free kick is given. And probably in League 2, we all say no disrespect, but showing disrespect, in League 2 Doidge would have not had a defender so quick or aware of the situation, and he would have scored.
Yeah, and got his shot off. But that's when you make the jump from League 2 to the Championship like that, and if you want to go again to the Premier League, it's harder. And Axel Tuanzebe is a Premier League defender, but that's what Parkinson's having to do. He's having to try and find gems, hope they learn, hope they come good. And that's why, going back to people who make jumps, that's why Dele Alli impressed me so much, the way he went from MK Dons to Tottenham at the Premier League, because it is such a big step up. But that is, for me, why Bolton are finding it hard, because they've got a lot of players who've come from League 1, League 2 and expected to now compete in the Championship against a division that's getting stronger and stronger.
Lovely back heel from Balassi. Here is Grealish, pings it in field to McGinn on the edge of the penalty area, has support from Horahan. He can strike it left-footed, he does, and it's too high.
Yeah, into the whole end. Bolton players still coming out, trying to get their bodies in a way. It's a very ambitious effort, speculative effort from 25 yards out. When you're 2-0 up, you can try things like that. But look, it's difficult for Bolton. You've got millions and millions of pounds worth of show, and as you said in the build-up, against a £1 million team, and that's why it's so hard. And ultimately, the more you spend, the better quality you get. And Bolton are trying, they're working hard, but they do lack that quality, especially in the final third.
Lloyd Dyer losing out to McGinn, and McGinn then appeals. His shirt was being pulled as Dyer won it back, and here is Taylor. Back towards Williams, a high diagonal ball in. McGuinness will nod it down, but nods it down to nobody behind Doidge, and Horahan will pick up for Villa. And here is Codger. Codger now with time and space to find Grealish. Grealish gets a shout from the crowd, who told him that Christian Doidge was coming in behind, and Hutton can bring it clear, but McGuinness with a decent challenge wins it back from Hutton, and Bolton still pushing here with 2.5 minutes to play, trailing by 2-0. Taylor releasing Dyer. Both Doidge and McGuinness were looking for the early cross, and in the end the pullback from Dyer was behind both of them.
Yeah, he tried to put it into that area for a pullback, but I think it's probably the wrong decision. Read by Grealish. Game's getting a little bit stretched now, and Smith won't be happy with that.
Here is Williams finding Doidge, who is onside, left-hand side of the penalty area, comes in field. Dyer with a low shot, which is deflected away beyond Tuanzebe. Here is Noon at the far post, whips it in. McGuinness with a header, and it's too high, and Villa escape.
Yeah, I think Dean Smith, you can see he's up, Rich O'Kelly's up, Neil Cutler, and they're looking, because they'll be really disappointed. Talk about game management. They want the clean sheet. Suddenly, even with, only a minute and a half of normal time to go, if you concede now, it changes, and there'll be stoppage time. So why is the game getting so stretched and losing it and becoming end-to-end like a bit of basketball? Keep the ball, control the game, and do not be professional, get the result, and do not let Bolton back into the game. And that's a bit, you can see why Dean Smith is concerned with that.
Just over a minute of normal time to play. Villa lead by 2-0 on TalkSport 2. And now McGinn can thread it through towards Hogan. Wheater, though, manages to step in and find Anik. He clears downfield, only as far as Grealish, 25 yards from goal. The crowd urge him to shoot, but he plays it wide to Kodja, down the left-hand side, back towards Grealish again, and now Horahan with another swing left-footed, and again it is too high, and they're about to make another change, Villa, and it's Glenn Whelan who will be coming on. And the numbers board seems to be lacking a battery, because we can't actually see what the numbers are. We can see the green number 6 for Whelan, but it's Jack Grealish who is coming off, because he's now taking a round of applause from the Villa crowd.
It's very faint, isn't it, at number 10 when it shows up with the angle we're at. But I think this is as well Dean Smith just realising that there's, that Aston Villa are losing their discipline really in the game management way. So he just wants to take the sting, take the flow out of the game, make this substitution, get Grealish's round of applause, score the goal, which is so important, get Glenn Whelan on and just see this game out.
And we are into added time at the end of this game. And I think it said 5 minutes, but I couldn't actually tell, because has anyone got any Duracell, or other batteries are available? 5 minutes of added time at the end of this game. Tuanzebe back towards Nyland, who clears long downfield, right-footed. And we've talked about strikers learning the game. Tammy Abraham is still only 20 years of age, but does he look as good a player as he was 2 years ago?
I don't think he does at the moment, and I think last season for him at Swansea didn't really happen. He got that England call-up, he got that cap. He was late with the loan. Maybe he felt he would have got to the Premier League. I think that being in the Championship would be good, and he'll want to get back to those scoring ways. I think he's got great physical attributes, some good movement, but sometimes that quality, that last bit of selection, final selection or decisions aren't quite there. Not always a natural finisher, but I think these loan spells are so good. He doesn't want to stay in Chelsea's under 23s playing there. He needs to be playing for Aston Villa, playing for England under 21s, and I believe he will go on to have a top career. But no, he's not hit the heights yet at Bristol City.
Here's Olkowski coming forward now for Bolton down the right, and he's done well to ride the challenge of Taylor, but it's Kodja working hard defensively who steps in to win it back, and he's still got the pace and power to move over the halfway line and get Olkowski going the other way. Wheeling in support, and then Kodja goes down. I think he was knackered basically after that run in the 92nd minute. He's clipped by Noon, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, he certainly carried the ball out there and relieved the pressure. He thought he was going to keep going, and he slowed it down. Won the free kick. It all breaks up play. Aston Villa will take as long as they can. I'd be very surprised if they send anybody up yet. Chester, Tuanzebe staying back, keep the ball, try and pass it around and run the clock down. The game should be won now, should be won, and get your clean sheet as well, because that's what managers, teams, defenders pride themselves on, and that's what Aston Villa's success last season was built on.
Hutton cushions it back towards Tuanzebe, and McGuinness will gamefully chase forward. Nyland's clearance wasn't the best, all on the ground, and it's flicked on by Chester, and now Taylor plays it forward looking for Dyer, but Hutton gets there first, and it spins out of play, and it will be a throw into Bolton. And we are in the dying embers of this game, with Aston Villa leading by 2-0. They'll move up to 13th in the table, ahead of a full programme tomorrow with Wigan against Leeds, live on TalkSport 2 on Sunday. Now Ben Anik, only beaten once in the second half, clears long downfield right-footed. McGuinness is the target, and he's done well to beat Tuanzebe in the air, but Hutton was always goal side of Dyer to clear, but now Dyer has it again from Taylor down the left-hand side, and he burrows his way towards the byline, but Hutton lunges in to concede the corner right at the end of this game.
Yeah, he's been direct, he's been positive, Dyer, since he's come on. He's grown into it, into the game, but I think Hutton's been excellent. A couple of crosses misplaced, but he's done well 1v1 defending, showed him outside, but Villa see this out, do not want to concede.
Noon with the corner. Nyland stays at home. It's nodded back across the 6-yard area by Wheater, and eventually sliced clear by McGinn towards this near side for a throw into Bolton. And Dean Smith, even at this stage, is still barking out orders to his team. High in from Williams towards the far post, nodded down by Wheater. McGuinness, can he turn? He can, and it's deflected inches wide Well, a goal kick has been given in the end, so it was scooped towards goal by McGuinness, and Nyland scrambling, happy to see it pass wide.
And Dean Smith just shakes his head because he knows that against better sides sometimes that could cost you. And what happened was the big guns stayed up for Bolton, so it was that second ball, that second phase, and Wheater pulled to the back post, no organisation, no looking at it. It overloaded the back post, head the ball down to the dangerous area, and very, very nearly conceded. And Dean Smith, he wants his team to be as perfect as possible, and moments like that are not good and are very easily preventable.
One win in 12.
Played forward now by Hobbs, controlled by McGuinness, into the throat of Dyer, but it's a throw into Bolton, who had their chances in the first half when it was only 1-0 to equalise, but they weren't taken. And from the moment Villa got their second goal, they've been pretty comfortable. McGuinness losing out in the air, but here is Dyer. Back towards low inside the centre circle for Bolton. And now Wheater, and there goes the full-time whistle. And Villa have responded to back-to-back defeats away from home with another 3 points here at Villa Park under Dean Smith. Not entirely convincing, but it's 3 points and a clean sheet. They've beaten Bolton Wanderers by 2-0.